Captain Robert paced, his heavy boots thudding against the stone floor.
A mere girl is to save France? What folly!
He threw his hands up in exasperation. The steward, a man grown old in service to the Dauphin, smiled gently.
Captain, you have not seen her. She is no ordinary girl. There's a fire in her, a light.
Robert stopped his pacing, eyebrows furrowed.
Fire? Light? Words, man, just words. We need steel, strategy, not some peasant's prophecy.
He shook his head, unconvinced. The steward, unfazed, simply replied,
She will show you, Captain. She will show you all.
The steward bowed his head as a figure appeared in the doorway.
Captain Robert, the maid is here.
Robert turned, a gruff greeting on his lips, but the words died in his throat. The girl stood, bathed in the sunlight streaming through the doorway, her posture straight and unwavering. Her eyes, though young, held a depth that startled him. Joan stepped into the room, her gaze unwavering as she met Captain Robert's sceptical stare.
You are Captain Robert?
Her voice, though quiet, held an undeniable authority. Robert, recovering from his initial surprise, crossed his arms. I am. And you, girl, are the miracle worker, the saviour of France, he said, his tone laced with sarcasm. Joan ignored his jibe.
I am Joan, sent by God to raise the siege of Orléans and crown the Dauphin in Reims.
Her words hung in the air, bold and absolute. Robert scoffed, taking a menacing step closer. God's will or not, you are playing a dangerous game, girl, one that could see you imprisoned or worse. Joan did not flinch.
God does not abandon his instruments, Captain, and I'm here to do his work.
Robert, exasperated by her unwavering confidence, threw up his hands. So how does a slip of a girl intend to achieve this miracle? With prayers and fairy dust? Joan's gaze remained steady.
With courage, Captain, and with strategy.
She took a step forward, her voice gaining strength.
I will need men, supplies, and your permission to lead them.
Robert barked out a laugh, but Joan continued, undeterred.
Poulanger will vouch for me. I need seasoned soldiers, Jack, Godsave, and Dick, and 2 servants, John of Honecourt and Julian.
Robert stared at her, a mixture of anger and disbelief on his face. You speak of strategy, girl. You name soldiers as if picking apples from a tree. You are delusional, touched by some fever. Joan, unfazed, met his gaze head-on.
The only fever I have, Captain, is the fire of God's will burning within me.
Suddenly the door swung open and a tall, imposing figure entered.
What fever is this I hear about, Robert?
Boomed Poulanger, his eyes twinkling as they settled on Joan.
Ah, the maid herself. I see you've met the esteemed captain.
Robert spun around, his face hardening. Poulanger, this is madness. This girl, he gestured dismissively towards Joan, claims to have a message from God and a plan to save Orléans. Poulanger raised an eyebrow, silencing Robert's protests.
And is that so hard to believe, Robert? Have we not reached the point of desperation where even God's intervention seems plausible?
He turned to Joan, his voice softening.
Tell me, maid, what is your plan?
As Joan began to speak, outlining her strategy with surprising clarity and conviction, a glimmer of hope flickered in Robert's eyes. Though doubt still lingered, Poulanger's unwavering belief in Joan, coupled with the girl's sheer determination, had planted a seed of possibility. Very well. For Poulanger's sake and for the sake of our desperate cause, I will grant you an audience with the Dauphin. But be warned, girl, if this is some elaborate hoax, you will face the consequences. Joan met his gaze, her expression resolute.
I fear no man's judgment, Captain, only God's.
And with that, she followed Poulanger out of the room, leaving Robert to grapple with the unsettling feeling that he had just made a decision that would alter the course of the war.